Chris told me I was going to come up here and support him, so I was giving him pointers on how to give a speech. And then he said, "You're coming up with me, you're saying something." I was incredibly honored to have the privilege to speak about my hero, about our hero. And spending some time in Leicester, I've learned he's a hero to many others, not just for what he did as a police officer, but what he did as a person. I first met Ronnie in junior high, and the more I got to know him, the more I knew he was special. He always saw the positive qualities in everyone. He had never had anything to say. He carried that quality with him his whole life. He truly was a living saint, and that's why people loved him so much. From our nights playing basketball until 3 a.m. at the Livingston Street basketball courts, freshman football, to cruising Hampton Beach, listening to the Humpty Dance and MC Hammer, "You Can't Touch This," with Alex, Matt, Richie, and Chris, or going to Boston with PJ. We all loved being his friend. He was the glue that bonded everyone together. It wasn't the same if he wasn't there. It was always better with him there. As we grew, and he did a lot more than most of us, he met his soulmate Tricia, and they had 3 handsome and intelligent boys, Ronnie Jr., Spencer, and Kyle. I've heard Tricia say a few times that she raised 4 boys because Ronnie was such a big kid at heart. I think he had more toys than his kids. And his Mustang was pretty awesome, but my favorite car he ever had was his Taurus SHO. He would insist on driving every night to Boston, and we would listen to Stone Temple Pilots the whole way in. He was so proud of his family. He was living his dream. One dream still evaded him, was become a police officer. When I told him I got on the job in our hometown of Tewksbury, I can hear his smile from over the phone. He was happier than I was. We talked about him never giving up on his dream and following in his father Ron Sr.'s footsteps, because we knew being a cop was the greatest job in the world. When he became a police officer in Leicester, he accomplished his dream. He loved being a cop, just like his dad. I would see his mom, Sharon, frequently at Market Basket. It was so apparent how proud she is of him. All of his friends from Tewksbury, his hometown, are very proud of him. Going over Ronnie's house, I could always see that his 3 sisters, they were his superhero. Just the look in their eyes when he was around and when he talked, I can see they loved him so much. And he meant so much to them. Ron and I would talk on the phone during our late nights, and we would swap war stories. He bragged to me that he made the newspaper before I did. I was excited for him. I was like, "Awesome, what'd you do?" He's like, "Oh, I got in a car accident." And then he would do that laugh that Larry was talking about. He just said he pulled the woman over, and she just backed right into him, drove right up on his hood. In the last week, I met a lot of Ron's immediate brothers. A few comments stood out. When speaking with Dan Dyson, he said Ron always had everybody's back on and off duty. He was everyone's go-to guy. He said he really knew how to attract a crowd, whether on the job or off the job at parties. But Dan knew he could really disperse a crowd by his experiences with them in the locker room. If you know about Ron's bodily functions. Officers that were forced to work the late night shift were much happier when he was on the roster. I just yesterday saw an academy mate of mine that works for Ron, with Ron, Justin Starkus. He told me he stayed on late nights just to work with Ron. I don't know if I would have gone that far. But I could understand it. I also met a new officer that worked with Ronnie Sunday morning, Randy Hawley. I asked him how long he knew Ron for. He stated 4 weeks, but I love the guy. Ronnie was truly loved by everybody he met. He just had that personality that everybody would gravitate to. His 10-year law enforcement career might as well have been a century. The relationships he formed with so many people are a testament to his legacy. I can't wait to see how Ronnie's boys carry out their lives, continuing his legacy. For those of you who know Ronnie, who have learned about his life and who he is, please take something you loved about him and carry it on. He may not be here physically, but we all know he will always be here helping all of us. Until we meet again, and we will, you are forever in our hearts. I love you, brother.